Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Perkins, a board certified OBGYN, and today we're talking about, does ashwagandha balance female hormones? I get asked this question all the time. There are so many herbs and supplements available out there, and ashwagandha is one that is becoming more and more popular, so I'm so excited about it. And we're going to talk about this today with looking at what the science shows when it comes to ashwagandha. And for that conversation to happen, we really need to understand what exactly ashwagandha is. Then we'll talk about how it impacts females' hormones. And then we'll talk about tips that I have for how you can incorporate it in your lifestyle so that it will benefit you the most. So let's talk about it. Now, as an OBGYN, it is very important for me to get the evidence-based medicine side of things, right? We want to see what the science says. But I also know that there is a lot of missing parts when it comes to research and things outside of the pharmaceutical world that are still lacking. A lot of research needs to be done. And so when we approach talking about ashwagandha, I want to consider both sides of things. The first thing is that know that to start, ashwagandha is not a hormone. And so when we think about hormonal balance, we're thinking about things that will directly impact our hormones. And ashwagandha is really not that. It is an herb, it is a plant compound. And what it has been shown to do when it comes to scientific evidence is it is shown to help to decrease cortisol. Now, cortisol is a hormone. Cortisol is our stress hormone. We all have it to some degree, some more than others. And it is very important that cortisol be in a normal level because if not, it does impact or influence all our other organs. So indirectly, just to start, ashwagandha can indirectly impact our hormones, but it doesn't directly do that. Now, ashwagandha traditionally is considered to be an adaptogenic herb. And what that means is that when it goes into our bodies, it is able to either stimulate things or decrease them, depending on our playing field internally. And so when we think of cortisol, if your cortisol level is high and you take ashwagandha, ashwagandha will then decrease the levels of cortisol. If your cortisol levels are too low, which likely if you're watching this video, I'm going to say it probably isn't. If your cortisol is low, it is able to adapt and influence the increase of cortisol instead of reducing it. And so it doesn't take a direct effect from person to person or the same effect from person to person. It really adapts, which is why it's called adaptogenic. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about how exactly ashwagandha works. As we're here trying to find balance, especially for female hormones, and I've mentioned a few minutes ago that ashwagandha is not a hormone in and of itself. Research shows that if our cortisol is high, our cortisol levels can shut down ovulation. It can cause menstrual irregularities. It can lead to us being super fatigued. It can lead to us having acne issues, weight issues, mood instability, and so much more. Therefore, lowering our cortisol will impact our hormones overall. We have so many research studies that have actually looked at the numbers and our levels of cortisol, and it has positively shown that when we take ashwagandha consistently and regularly, those levels are reduced tremendously. The science behind that is there heavily. So we know that ashwagandha can support menstrual regularity. If you have PCOS, an underlying hormonal imbalance condition, polycystic ovarian syndrome, there is much evidence that shows that ashwagandha may actually improve insulin resistance. Now, this is the key issue for most people with PCOS. Up to 70% of people with PCOS have hormonal insulin resistance. We've seen that ashwagandha in PCOS may balance insulin and help your body actually be able to use the insulin better, but it also lowers inflammation. Inflammation can really impact our entire system overall. Now, ashwagandha in all conditions, even with cortisol, is not a standalone treatment for anything. It is super important that the takeaway from this video today is that it is supportive. It helps to create the overall wellness of our bodies and our system, but it's not a treatment in and of itself for neither cortisol or any of the other conditions that we may discuss. If you are in perimenopause, which on average, menopause occurs around the age of 51, perimenopause can incorporate the years preceding that. So I'm going to say up to about 10 years prior, you may start to experience changes that are really due to our estrogens and our progesterones that are fluctuating so much in our system. Ashwagandha during those years has been shown to help to create mood stability, help us with sleep during that time frame, helps to decrease hot flashes or hot flushes, and it has also helped with vaginal dryness. And the research shows that it's likely due to the reduction in stress as well as the antioxidant effects of ashwagandha. Now again, as I've just mentioned, and I'm going to stress in this video, ashwagandha is not a treatment for perimenopause or menopause and all the symptoms that are associated with that. And it is definitely not a replacement for hormone replacement therapy if that is something that you're considering or something that you're taking right now. Ashwagandha has also been shown to help with libido and sexual function. Likely this is due to stress being reduced, which is the core of what ashwagandha does, which increases desire for sexual activity. And this will lead to increased arousal as well as increased lubrication, especially vaginally. Now, those are all the benefits, right? Most of the benefits of ashwagandha. But I also want to mention now what ashwagandha does not do a little bit more clearly. It does not raise estrogen. It does not raise progesterone levels. It does not fix hormones all by itself. It is not a replacement of medical therapy, and it absolutely doesn't override other lifestyle changes that are important to creating hormonal balance. So things like sleeping well, it's moving and exercising, it is eating and supporting our bodies with the appropriate nourishment that it needs. It doesn't do any of those things, but it is a great supplement in supporting your body. It is also important that we mention here that there's certain instances where ashwagandha should not be taken. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit now. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, you should not take ashwagandha supplements. If you have an underlying thyroid disorder, this is another scenario where you do not want to take ashwagandha, as it may increase your thyroid hormone levels. If you have an underlying liver disease, we absolutely should not take ashwagandha. And if you're taking other medication that are sedatives in any way, antihypertensives, or any immunosuppressants, we should not take ashwagandha. Now, how do we take ashwagandha well? Okay, and again, it's a great supplement to take, and I highly suggest taking it as long as we are not falling into the categories that I just mentioned. Ashwagandha works best when you take it consistently. That means we're not taking it for a week and then we skip a week and we expect to see the results. It doesn't quite work that way. Ashwagandha works best when we're taking it consistently, month after month after month. You'll find that your energy levels, the way that you feel, your stress levels change dramatically when you've been taking it consistently over time. Find standardized extracts. Many companies and brands have them, and pair it with lifestyle changes for the best results. Now, who benefits the most from ashwagandha? Let me tell you, women with stress-related cycle issues are probably the number one people who may respond best to ashwagandha. Those in perimenopause, especially those with sleep issues, for sure, this is so beneficial. Those with PCOS and a lot of stress, ashwagandha is for you. And women with low libido, especially due to stress. Now, adaptogens like ashwagandha is a really powerful supplement to help to support you in your hormonal journey and your desire for balance. But it works best when it's a part of the big overall strategy for creating that balance. If you want to take a deeper dive into your hormones and find strategies for creating balance, I have a simple gift that may help you on your journey. It is a free copy of my ebook, Hormones Don't Lie. To get that, simply click the link below this video and I'll send it your way. In this ebook, I dive into your hormones, what they mean, how to identify your imbalance, and strategies to help you on your journey to finding happiness and finding wellness. Thank you so much for listening in today. Thank you so much for being here, and I'd love to see you next time.